For me, period, I love this camera. I love this camera, hands down. Like, and not for what specs it has. Of course, we'll get into that. But it's not because of the specs. I'm gonna give you 5 good reasons why I love this camera. 5. All right? Number 1, I love the tally lights. I love the fact that I could sit here, record myself. All of the lights is lit up. There's no mistakes. I did a straight run on my YouTube video. I think I did well, and I didn't even record it. We don't have those problems with this camera. And the FX3 and the A7 IV, they all adapted the tally light feature. I love this. I love this. This is like hands down one of my favorites, because if I'm shooting with 2 cameras and I'm by myself, it's good to know that that other camera is recording. The B camera is recording if I'm dealing with the A camera. It's good to know that. That's like, peace of mind. And so that's one of the main reasons why I like this camera. That's one of the main features. Number 2. The number 2 reasons why I like this camera is because, pretty much just like the FX3, I love the XLR inputs. Like, I'm all for the mini inputs and all of that stuff that these other cameras have, but it's nothing like having full XLR inputs. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. And I like that. I really dig that. I really like the fact that it's a running gun. Of course, you got to keep the handle on it. You got to keep the handle on if you want that XLR feature. But I'm cool with that, because at that point, it's kind of like what you invest in cinema for, right? That's what you get into that line for those features. And so I like the grab and go handle on there. It has the XLRs. You have your inputs. You have your you could monitor your audio from it. I think it's dope. I think it's really dope. That's number 2. That's the second thing I like about this camera. And I'm glad y'all bearing with me, because I don't really do reviews or point of views. If anybody, my channel is new, so I haven't really did any point of views so far. So bear with me. I'm getting there. But yeah, I like that. I like that feature. Number 3. For some reason, I don't know if it's just me, maybe somebody can chime in and correct me, but the image stabilization on this camera feels like image stabilization. Like, not hating on the A7 IV, I've shot with it, I've owned it, and I never felt like I was really getting the whole image stabilization thing going. I mean, I've tried different features. It could just be me, but I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel like it was there. I felt like it was shaky. It just wasn't working. But with this camera, the FX30 handheld, I had an option a little while back to shoot a commercial. We were doing a commercial, and there was one scene where they wanted to do a tracking scene, and I had the option to put it on a gimbal, and I didn't even want to use the gimbal. Like, I really didn't want to use the gimbal. I was so confident and so comfortable with how the footage looked handheld. Just enough naturalness to it to give it that natural look, but not shaky where you feel like, damn, I should have used the gimbal. It works for me. Again, a lot of the stuff I'm talking about is from my point of view. It's not, I didn't write the book. It's not factual. Everybody have different opinions. Your mileage may vary, straight up. But yeah, for me, it's dope because I don't feel like I'm using a gimbal. I don't have that electronic feel to it, that mechanic feel to it. It has that natural feel to it. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm pretty sure there's some times I'm gonna have to use a gimbal, like it or not. I get that. So for all you gimbal lovers out there, don't start sending me the hateful comments about your gimbal. I'm not hating on your gimbal or mine either. It's nothing like, for a running gun filmmaker, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's nothing like being confident with the fact that you could just grab your camera and go out and shoot without all these other moving parts. You know what I mean? It's nothing like it. So moving on, number four, which is obviously going up to number 5. So number 4 obviously is one of my biggest things I like about this camera, which other people say they kind of, they kind of call it its curse, if you will, is the crop sensor. I've shot with crop sensors, man. I'm talking about from T2i, 60D, whatever. I've shot with them. I never had a problem with them. One of the biggest things I like about crop sensor cameras is the fact that the lens choices are endless. There's endless lens choices. And this camera just adds another one to that. I'm gonna talk about in a moment. But it's endless. Like, you got just fundamentally crop sensor, you got endless option when it comes to camera lenses. When I first got the camera, I got the combo with the camera. I got the 15 millimeter f1.4. Dope. I mean, small, you know what I mean, light. I loved it. I loved the shots that I was able to get. I'm shooting right now at the 51.8. I just wanted to see how it would look like in a tight situation. I mean, the camera is literally, I would say, about maybe 4 feet from me. Like 4 feet from me. And I think it's doing pretty good. I mean, yeah, wider is better when you're doing YouTube. Sometimes you want that background. But at the end of the day, I just want to see what this looked like. And I don't think it looks too bad. I mean, I don't think it looks too bad. But yeah, I like that. I like the fact that you could get a lot of lens choices with this. And to add to it with this camera, the Sony FX30, is that you could put your full frames on here too. So you're not losing. You're not like, damn, I got all these full frame lenses and I can't use them, buying into this. Because some people are buying this as a B camera for their FX3, my bad, for their FX3. And so now you have 4 or 5 expensive full frame lenses, and then you buy this other camera that's crop sensor, and now it's almost like investing in another ecosystem. It's not, but it feels like it. But it's great because now you could use the lenses. Now you can't use the crop sensor lenses on the full frame unless you're just in love with. No, actually you can, because on a full frame camera like the FX3 or the A7 IV, you just got Super 35 on there. You just switch it to Super 35 and your crop sensor lens is Gucci. So either way you cut this, it's a good deal. And so I like it because of that. I like it because of the fact that I have the option for plenty of lenses. And the zoom rocker on here is dope, because if you're shooting with a 50, which is gonna give you a 75 off rip, you zoom in, you at an 85 pretty much, or something like that. So yeah, you got the reach. And so I was shooting with the 15, and sometimes it'll feel like it was too wide. But by the time I punched in, I was somewhere around, and the 15 was giving me 30. It was giving me 30. And by the time I punched in, I was getting like maybe 35, something like that. So it's pretty cool in that note. I like it because of that. I think that's dope. And the fifth reason that I love this camera, hands down, and this one is subjective. It's not techie. It's not written on paper. It gets out of my way. As a creator, and I'm pretty sure some of y'all can identify with this, I don't care what you shooting with. Everybody have a different taste, right? My FX30 is the next man's red. I get that. So what I'm about to say is this. It gets out of my way. As a creative, there's times you just want to grab your camera and express yourself. You get this feeling inside you that you want to shoot. I don't care. It don't have to be a paid project. It could just be in the park. As y'all see, I've been shooting some stuff in the park with it. I've put it through its paces. I've shot some stuff out. I went downtown in Newark, New Jersey, and I shot some stuff around with it, and I like it. I think that is dope. I think that when you have a piece of equipment, gear, that doesn't get in your way, then that's half of the battle to me, because it's tough enough being a creative, right? Always trying to innovate, come up with ideas, please that inner thirst of creativity inside you. You're trying to always do that. And then you got this piece of equipment that you gotta like take 20, 30 minutes each time just to set up. That could be, after a while, that could be kind of like frustrating and discouraging, to say the least. You just don't want to do it. But this camera right here, and it ain't the FX3. It ain't the Canon Canon 70, C70, my bad. It's a crop sensor, camera. And I'm saying that in a way of people been saying, oh, it's a crop sensor camera. It's not, a FX3. I get that. But this is about looking at it from a tool, an instrument perspective. It doesn't get in my way. I love shooting with this camera. I love shooting. There's a camera that I got introduced to years ago out of all the other cameras I shot with, and it had that same effect on me, and that was the Canon 60D. The Canon 60D, crop sensor camera. I've shot with the 60, I've shot with the 70, I've shot with Mark II, 3, 4. I've shot with those, but they didn't feel the same. I don't know what it is. They just didn't do that to me. The 60D, I was lit. I was shooting everything, man. I was just like, show it to me, I'm shooting it. I was like that with it. Here go this camera, so many years later, out of all the cameras I've shot with, this camera doesn't get in my, I just feel, and I mean, I'm pretty sure the FX3 is the same principle, right? Like, it wouldn't get in your way, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because it's the little brother to the FX3, so your whole perception is, you kind of come out the gate not taking it serious in that way of, this is the FX3. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of come into it like, you just have that mindset of, this is not so serious. I don't know if I'm phrasing it right, but it's just I know for me, it's just like, I grab it and I shoot whatever. I could see a statue and I'm cinematic. You know what I mean? I could see a flower and I'm cinematic. I could see a pile of mud, the way it's just shaped, and I'm cinematic with it, with this camera. That tells me I got the right camera in my hand. Now that's not saying that this camera is better than your camera. It's not what I'm saying. That's not saying everybody should just drop their Canon or their other Sony they shooting with and run out and buy the FX30. I mean, it'd be dope if you do. I have an affiliate link in my bio, in the bottom of my subscription. I have affiliate link. Y'all do like it, go check it out. You know what I'm saying? I get a little bit from it. It helps the channel. It helps me create videos like this. It gives me the freedom. But and also if you like what you're hearing so far, if this bring any value to you guys, please hit that like, that subscribe button, share. I would appreciate it. Like I said, it really helps me be able to make more videos like this and just keep growing the channel. And so yeah, that's the fifth thing that I love about this camera. It does not get in my way. And that's what I like about it. So with that being said, my message to you is, outside of the FX30, if you have a camera that you love shooting with and it doesn't get in your way, rock on with that, man. Don't let nobody tell you about something else, doing this and doing that, unless you keep that camera and you buy additional cameras because you just want to have something bigger, something a little more industry standard, whatever phrase you want to put on it. But don't let nobody talk you out of the one that really gives you that feeling. That's all I'm saying. And this camera does that for me. The Sony FX30 does not get in my way as a creator. I just work. That's all.